Hello guys, today I want to show you my perfect VRCHAT setup I'm running. I'm pretty much done now with all the modifications. Everything works as intended. I'm very happy with it. Sure, there's always some spots that could still be improved, but so far this setup for me personally works flawless. So as you can see, of course, the standard model is the Pico4. First off, the Pico4, great device for PCVR. Standalone not so much, but I use it like 95% for PCVR, so it's not a big deal. I'm using virtual desktop. I'm using the setup wirelessly, of course, like streaming to my gaming PC. Okay, let's start, get over it. First of all, the standard gasket on the Pico4 is a hit and miss. For some it works great, for me it did not. I have a too narrow head, I guess. So luckily there was some guy who actually scanned the original gasket and released the 3D file, so modders were able to modify it accordingly. As you can see, I did a few things. I added magnets so it attaches to the Pico4 like the original headset. You can still use the nose flap, of course, to cut out light. And on the back you have Velcro where you can attach, in this case it's a VR cover gasket. And this for me works pretty much perfectly. I also added like vents, so to improve the cooling of the Pico4 even more. I mean, it is pretty much amazing already as it is, but still this is a tight seal with the new gasket, and with the outlets here, left and right, the circulation of air is even better, and it's really comfortable. And just like this, as you see, it attaches with the magnets, pretty easy. Bam, it's on. Next up, maybe we have this here. This is my self-made, self-designed Bobo VR knockoff. It's a little slimmer and a little bit more compact, but it pretty much features the same specs. No, not really actually. I bought the more expensive 18650 cells on here. Together it's 7000 milliamps, and I think the Bobo VR has 5200 milliamps. So that's a bit more. I just went for it. It can be charged with USB-C. On this side it charges with 15 watts. And as you can see, it's magnetic as well, and it's a quick swap. So when you have it on your head, just attach it and it starts charging right away. There you go, it takes a while. So when the battery is empty, you simply grab on the back of your head, take the battery off and get the next one in. And depending, I'm doing pretty fine with two of them. So when one is in use, I charge the other one. When the one is running low, I exchange it, and just like that. I always, of course, start with a full charged battery on the Pico itself, so I can easily do, I don't know, 6-8 hours along in VRCHAT if I want to. Yeah. Okay, next, what else do we have? On the front we have a custom front pattern. I also offer the stencil for that if you want it. By the way, all the links will be posted down below in the video description. Yeah. Okay, next, the Deluxe audio strap from HTC, you probably know. It uses this setup. This is a remix from Sir Nick. I found on Printables. Pretty nice mod actually. For me, I had the problem that the arm was not going far enough to have proper contact with my ear. So what I did, I was
changing the angle on the adapter, and I also like replaced the padding on the front of the drivers. I got those from Amazon. I will also link it. I will link it to also the project and everything. Yeah, other than that, cable management was very important for me because I wanted it to look really clean. So as you can see on this side, we have cable management here that's printed in TPU, flexible, for nice cable management. This is from the Deluxe audio strap. You could shorten it, but it's not a big deal, so I just left it as it is. I am also using a splitter for power pass-through and audio, so I can actually use the Deluxe audio strap drivers on the Pico4. And as you can see, I come from the USB-C, and I have a 3.5 connector on top, and then the lower one is a USB-C that runs back to my quick swap battery pack, so I can use the headphones and charge at the same time. About that. Yeah, so I also made like little cable management, cable guiding clamps on this side, so when you actually like lower or close it, it's free to go. It can move, so I can change that easily, tighten it up, open it up again, and the cable is always tension free. On the other side, same story. As you can see, you can swivel it up and down, just like on the Deluxe audio strap itself. Yeah. So as I mentioned before, I'm using it with virtual desktop, wireless with Wi-Fi 6 or 5, rock solid connection. Just get a proper router. Standalone would be best if you have a lot of wireless devices connected to your normal modem that also features Wi-Fi. It could be that it's not able to handle a proper stable connection. So just look up virtual desktop and you will find all the info you'll need, and even the recommended routers. They have recommended routers from a low level, really cheap, to much more expensive, but they work all equally fine. So just check that up on the internet and that's fine. I'm also using Valve decals controllers with my setup. So I owned the Valve Index before, so luckily I already had like the Lighthouses and the whole other setup to work with Steam VR. The thing is, there is open space calibrator where you can like synchronize like the controllers with your headset. Most likely like use the original Pico4 controllers and the Valve Index ones. You put them in the same hand and then you have to move them around and calibrate them. It does work, but whenever the Pico loses like tracking on the visual side, because it does it with inside-out tracking with the cameras, for example in VRCHAT your character will get out of sync, so everything Lighthouse operated will not be synced to the headset anymore, and it could be like your body twists weirdly around. So you have to recalibrate whenever that happens. If you don't want that, you can use an additional tracker, and this is a mount also made by another guy. I remixed it, so it's a quick swap magnetic mount, so you just like put it on like this, like this, and with that you have the option of continuous calibration with the open space calibrator, which means it is constantly synchronized and you will never get out of sync, which is super handy and very cool and works like a dream. And as we are already working with one tracker, this is a 3.0, I'm also using full body tracking on this, because with the Lighthouses, of course, we have that going as well. So talking about full body tracking, normally, full body tracking, let's get the headset out of the way and let me get my other stuff. So, of course, right foot, left foot, hip tracker, and of course the knuckle controllers. Okay, let me start with the
with both feet. So you have one on your right and your left side. I didn't go for a strap, I decided to put them on like comfortable shoes. Cheap, soft shoes, so it's comfortable to stand around or dance or whatever you do in VRCHAT. And as you can see, this is not a normal, this is a 2.0 tracker by the way, from 2018. And as it is, it would like last 4 hours max, and then you would have to recharge or connect it to a charger. The funny thing, as you already see right now, you can see that it's glowing white on all of them. That's because on the lower side I designed like a battery compartment that holds a battery that features double the capacity than the battery that's already inside each Vive tracker. So we do the math, if a Vive tracker holds up for 4 hours, we have 3 times the capacity, so we should be good for roughly 12 hours. The design for those I will also link, of course. As you can see, I'm using it with a magnetic connector on this side, and you have a little light indicator, so you can actually see when the internal light in the battery pack is full. And the moment you disconnect it, the puck, the tracker, gets charged constantly, and once the lower battery pack is empty, it uses the internal one until that one dies, and that should be roughly 12 hours. And the index controllers won't even last, so they outlast now the index controller's battery. They last for about, yeah, by now it's 8.5 hours maybe. But that's that. So yeah, both add-ons on the shoes. I made them so you can actually like wove them in with the shoelaces. Right now it looks a little bit loose, but when you're actually in it and it's on the foot, it's pretty solid and it works perfectly. I have like 1,000 hours easily on those, more than 1,000 hours on these. So they work really, really well. Same for the hip tracker. I'm not a guy who's laying down, so I have this one on my back. This is just like a standard nice white belt. It's locked in the middle with a nice big plate that's directly on like the spine and around the hip. And same thing, you got the battery in the lower part. Got a quick connector for the magnetic one, and yeah, by the way, as you can see, there's no cable on the tracker itself. So this setup actually uses the pogo pins to charge the tracker. So there's no danger to actually like move around and then you catch something with a wire that's hanging out. So this is super convenient and works really, really well. I will also link to them in the description below. Okay, about that, let me put that aside. One more word for the index controllers. So normally when you buy a set, the receivers for the controllers is built in the Valve Index headset. So you could do either, there's just 2 possibilities you can go. You can just unplug like the display port from your computer and just use the USB 3.0 port running to your Valve Index, plus it needs power of course as well, so you are able to actually like use both knuckle controllers with the rest of the setup, because the receiver, the Watchman dongles, 2 of them are built in the Valve Index headset. I did not want to bother with it because I didn't want to like have it connected. I wanted to put it on the shelf in my collection of headsets. And I went on to search for Watchman dongles, and normally when you get a Vive tracker they always come with a dongle as well, and you can buy them separately. I wasn't able to find one on iFixit because they were like sold out or not available at that time, but there is one company in the US, they built their own bootleg ones and they are much cheaper as well. I think it's 34 euros with shipping and taxes. That's
You have that one, of course. This one I printed a little case for. You can find the case for the Watchman dongles on, I got that one from Thingiverse. You don't have to print a case, but it's just a little PCB with a USB, and it's recognized as Watchman dongle and works perfectly accordingly. There's no difference. I could not find any difference between like the original Watchman dongles from HTC or this bootleg one, so they work perfectly fine. Super cheap. It's also linked in the project below. Well, yeah, I guess that's it. We have the index controllers with finger tracking. We have full body tracking with 12 hours runtime, and we have the Pico4 with quick swappable. Oh yeah, this one is a 3.0 tracker, I forgot, and they should last like pretty much double as much as like the 2.0, so this one should last 8 hours. In a case like the battery is running out because you're still going after 8 hours of gameplay, which is possible in VRCHAT, especially when you're drinking or what else. Yeah, the worst that could happen is that once the continuous calibration stops because the battery on this one runs out, is that you have to recalibrate manually. It's not the end of the world. I barely do more than 8 hours VRCHAT. Occasionally it's more less, I would say, but yeah, that's that. So this is my complete setup. I'd say it's for me personally, it's the perfect setup. You are wireless, untethered. You have the super big sweet spot and high resolution from the Pico4. Virtual desktop is working like a charm. It's really amazing. I didn't even bother a single time with the Pico Airstream Assistant or whatever it is called. Really, same with the Quest. I never bothered with the original Airlink stuff. Virtual desktop is the way to go. It always works, and yeah, it's just amazing what the developers do behind virtual desktop. So that's it. That is my setup. All the links to the files and everything you will find in the description below. I hope I could give you some advices, tips, and an idea of maybe what you want to use too. Thanks for tuning in. Stay healthy and keep playing. Bye.